Welcome to the Tammi Mac Late Show on Fox Soul. Hey, everybody. Look, it's the middle of the week, and so it's time to unwind. Unwind, but you unwind on Fridays. No, hell to the no. Let me explain something to y'all. You got one life to live, so live it. It don't matter what day it is. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Just live your life every day you get the chance. How about that? Stop waiting on Monday. Stop waiting on Friday. You understand what I'm saying? With everything that's happening in the world today, we all need an outlet to help us take a break from our daily lives. Woo, geez. And for many of us, one of those outlets is through laughter. For generations, Black comedians from Richard Pryor, Moms Mabley, Dick Gregory, and Red Fox found a way to turn their sorrows and struggles into comedy relief, and we were all the better for it. They passed the torch and paved the road for the many comedians that we have come to love today, from Dave Chappelle to Chris Rock and Wanda Sykes. Tonight, the business of being Black is about the power of comedy, its impact on the Black community, and comedians' ability to help us forget our sorrows by making us laugh. But first, this woman makes you laugh in every movie that comes out, child. If she ain't in the movie, you really don't want to see the movie. I am having a one-on-one with my very special guest. Understand me when I say special. I don't mean that lightly. This woman is an inspiration to every actress out there. She is my personal friend, my mentor, and I look to her, but I try not to use her as much as I probably should be using her. Please welcome my fellow Houston native singer, Emmy Award-winning actress, Broadway superstar, Loretta DeVine. Miss DeVine.
Oh, hi, Tammi. Oh my God, what an intro.
I gotta give it up to you. Loretta, who told you were funny?
My family, I think, my teachers, my church, my Sunday school teacher said I was always doing stuff and saying I wanted to be a star or something. And I showing my panties in when I was like 3 or 4.
Showing your panties in Sunday school?
I know. She said I would, every time I get a new pair, I would come and say, see my panties? I want to be your star. I think she was making that up. But that's what she used to tell me I did. So I've been everybody, I guess, to some extent.
Go ahead.
I said, I've always tried to make people laugh, and I don't know why.
So from the age of 3, you have been putting on a show.
I've been putting it on, yeah.
Draws and all.
Yes. Well, I had a very big family. I had to fight for attention. You know, I had 4 sisters ahead of me and a brother behind me and then a younger sister later, but I had a big family. You had to push for space, you know.
So do you remember your very first paying job as an actress?
My first paying job as an actress? Oh yeah. My God. Well, it had to be in Houston because I worked at the Black Arts Center after I graduated out of college. And I was always doing theater, but I can't remember getting paid for it.
Right.
Community theater. Barbara Allen had a theater that I worked in a lot. Oh God, paid for it. I guess it wasn't until I got to no, it had to be in Boston. So I went to graduate school at Brandeis. And so I started doing voiceovers and stuff there. So I got paid there, which was in the late 70s.
So then your first job was maybe a voiceover job?
Yeah. When I was in college, if you want to talk about being paid for acting something out, that was it. Because all the stuff I did in college was free, you know.
Yeah. Well, it paid off because you've been on Doc McStuffins for how long now?
It's going on 8 years. And I think they were nominated for an NAACP award, and that comes on Saturday. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's been going on 8 years.
Yeah. And everybody loves. I know kids stop you and want to hear you talking in your voice, but that is your voice, right? You're not creating a different voice for the character.
What are you talking about? The hippo?
Yeah, the hippo.
start a business. I make tapes for a lot of parents that go, oh, my daughter loves you. And then I said, well, let me make a little tape and tell her some good stuff. Mind your mom and make all A's, you can do. Yeah, that is my voice, Tammy.
Well, everybody loves your voice. And I know I have to share the story of how I knew it was kismet when we met. I think we met long before I knew we would end up having a personal relationship, but we were both at a play.
Okay.
We were not in a play, but at a play. We were sitting next to each other. And I think I pulled out, I don't know, some chicken wings. And then, no, you pulled out some chicken wings. And I think I pulled out some Cheetos. And I was like, can I get some of them wings? You was like, can I get some of them Cheetos? I don't remember what the food was. But at that point, I knew Loretta DeVine was not fake. She was not a phony. She is as real as they come. And that's why people really love you, though, Loretta, because they believe that they can connect with you in a real way. Is that something that you knew or intentionally tried to do as an actress?
Well, in creating all my characters, one of the things that's so important to me is that no matter what you're doing or who you're playing, you want the audience to love you or like you, or at least see someone that reminds them of somebody they care for. So I've just always been mushy for people, and it just shows in my personality. I really care a lot for people. So, and I think people pick up on that and they just run with it. Some in the wrong direction, some in the right, but still, that's what it is.
But are you, or did you ever in your career imitate someone from your family? Or is that you? Like, how some people, they know people from the family who are characters in themselves.
Yes.
So did you ever take a character from your family and be that auntie?
I do all my sisters. They probably should be paid. I do all my sisters. If I want to be pulled up, I know which sister to do. If I want to be down low, I know who to do. And because it's a family of women, I was raised in a family of women from my mother up, and everybody has such strong personalities. So yes, and I do people I've met. I look for special things in people, and I steal all the time.
Oh, look, we steal from, I steal from you. So how about that?
Go right ahead.
I wanted to know about, I was at a conference and I saw you on a panel at a conference. Mm-hmm. And at this conference, everybody was saying, create your own content, do your own thing, do your own thing. And everybody on the panel was saying, do your own thing, create your own content. And Loretta, you said, well, I don't know about do this own thing and your own content. Where you going to get the money from? How you going to make the money? You need to make the money. So mm-hmm. Is this a different world today in terms of the platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu? Does it give Black people more opportunities to create their own platform, but also make money to create more?
Well, it's like a mixed blessing, I think, because there's so many jobs now. There's always some place to go and work or somebody to go and work for, because usually what you do as an actress is you audition. And then if you're lucky, you get the part and the ball rolls from there. And the pickup depends on how successful the piece is. You can never tell what's going to be a hit. They couldn't have told us that Waiting to Exhale was not going to win millions of awards and whatever. And it didn't do all of that, but it changed the culture in a lot of ways for Black women. So now they have the Netflix, they have all of the outlets, the Hulu, the Disney Plus. But I don't know whether or not they get residuals. There's this whole streaming things that sort of blocks the money in a new way. So whenever it looks like they're opening the doors,
they slam it in your face at the same time. Come on in. Boom.
That may not be what really is happening, because the content belongs to them then, and then you're not getting paid every time your image is seen. The way when I started, we lived off those little residual checks that you didn't know when they were coming. You did not know how much they were going to be. but it made all the difference in whether or not you could, make your rent up or get everything to keep everything going. So there are advantages and there are disadvantages, but the advantage is that so many people gets to be seen and so many people get a chance to have their dreams fulfilled. And that's always a good thing, because that means hope is alive and everybody's growing. And the new actresses coming up, oh my God, the new opportunities they have are just incredible to play all these incredible roles and everything. And now people are just creating stuff for themselves. Everybody have their own production company and they're selling stuff to everybody. So
yeah. Well, when we come back, I want to talk to Loretta about giving up. Do you ever give up when things get rough in this industry? And I want to ask Loretta, has she ever thought about giving up? Even though I don't think she ever had to. You've been working ever since you've been working, Loretta. We'll talk about it when we return on the Tammi Mac Late Show on Fox Soul. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back to the Tammi Mac Late Show on Fox Soul, where I am chatting with my friend Loretta DeVine. And Loretta, I don't know if you know or not, but you just won guest performance for P-Valley, an NAACP Image Award.
Okay.
Your guest performances are off the chain. How'd you feel in P-Valley? How did you like playing the role?
Well, oh God, Tasha Smith, who directed that episode, called me at the last minute and said, "We haven't been able to cast this. Come on, Loretta, come do this." And I was like, "What? What is it?" She said, "Oh no, you're gonna love it." And then in P Valley, I play a 80-year-old cussing stripper that that owns a juke joint down in the valley. And it was just that incredible experience. I had worked with Katora Hall, who was the creator before, on a show that we were trying to get on and it didn't happen. But I'm so proud of her and her success with P Valley. It is raunchy. It is just brilliant in so many ways. And it talks about an area that is never covered in our culture. So I was very excited to do it, but I was so scared of some of the language and some of the stuff I said about Jesus. I said, "Oh Lord, it's a good thing my mom wasn't here to hear it." So,
well, that language got you an NAACP Image Award tonight.
Yes.
Speaking of 80-year-old stripper, obviously you are nowhere close to 80 years old, Loretta. But age oftentimes matters in this industry. So, but it seems like you have held your own and embraced yourself at every age that you are. I mean, from a different world all the way to P-Valley. You know what I mean? So how is it that you can embrace your age as is, and maybe other actresses want to stay young with the Botox and the this and the that, and don't want to eat because they don't want to gain weight and all of that?
Well, everybody has to do different things in the industry. They're like, whether they like it or not, there are actresses that do only other actresses or only other famous people that have lived. There are actresses that only get to play the prostitutes, or there are some that have to do all the action films because they're good runners and stuff. Everybody has something that their gift, what makes them special. And I got here late, so they moved me into the mama category right off. I've played so many mamas. I've been everybody's mama that has my skin tone. Okay, Jennifer Lewis.
You're right. Yeah, I hear her too, though. Hold on now. Hold on, Loretta. I'm the mother of Hollywood.
So it all depends on, the area that you're pushed in. I'm getting a chance at this age to play things I never dreamed I'd get to play. In the movie I did that came out during the pandemic called Spell with Omar Hardwick, I played this woman from deep down in Appalachia who was a coach, a woman that I had him in my attic for months.
Ooh, I haven't seen that one. Thank you. I got something to watch now. Thank you. Thank you.
Movie.
I want to go to some of our soulmates because they're in the chat room for you. Incog says a true classy OG. She has that, oh, bless your heart voice that will tell you off in a classy way. We love you, Loretta. Wow. I didn't know that Loretta DeVine was on Doc McStuffins. Now, you know. Yolanda W says, Tammy, looking like a little girl. Oh, okay. Thank you. Miss Loretta deserves that award and then some. I think we can all agree with that. Pleasant voice, Miss DeVine. Love her. She's so beautiful. I liked Loretta in the Carmichael show. She and David Allen Greer saved that show. They led that show. Miss Loretta is a pure diamond in Hollywood. I love you, Miss Loretta. My MFA thesis show was a long time since yesterday, and I played Wanda in the Colored Museum. You have rocked the stage, screen, and TV, says Ursula O. Robinson.
Oh my God. Thank you to everybody. That's just amazing to hear people talk about how you've influenced their lives in different ways.
Do you expect that now or what?
Expect what now? People to praise you?
Yeah. Do you expect people to come to you and say, oh, you're my idol, you're my inspiration?
No, most people come to me and say, oh, my grandmother loves you, or oh, my mama really thinks you're great. So that's what the Z generation does.
That's what, okay.
Yeah.
Well, they know, look, they know they love you too. We can't even, don't even try. Don't even try. Do not, please. So you play my dear in the Netflix series Family Reunion. I have seen every episode, which it premieres, or am I talking about another one?
Yeah, that's it, April 5th.
Yeah, April 5th. So how do you like this one? What is it about this show, Loretta?
Oh my God. Well, I'm old school mom. I absolutely love the cast. It's just it's family. When we work, we spend a lot of time together, and all of it is very hard work. Meg DeLuth, who created the show, there's nothing easy about it. It's a show that she wanted to have 50, 60 people in the cast every show. It's about reunions, family reunions. It's about raising kids. It's about problems that young people deal with and how families can work on them. And it's a show that an entire family can watch together and discuss whatever the issue is that's brought up in the show. It's a gem, and I think everyone should see it. It's for teenagers and children, but it's also it helps adults to figure out how to talk to their babies in this new world that we have.
It's a family show. It's something that we've been missing, Loretta. So kudos to Meg.
Yes.
Yeah, it's something we've definitely been missing. Is there a role you would never take?
A role I would never take. I don't like, there are roles I wouldn't take. There are roles I haven't taken. You know, people think I took everything. She must be taking every job they offer her. But there are roles I haven't taken. There's some things I don't understand. If I read a script and I don't understand, or I can't figure out or like the person, then I have no reason to do it. The humanity in me just isn't interested enough. And now I'm at an age where I said, been there, done that. I really want to do things I've never done, or things that now there are things I can't do. When I see girls running, I gotta run, I'm doing all that kind of stuff. I like those walkie-talkie roles where you just walk and talk, or you stand there and talk. Right. So there are roles that I would not do. I don't like being naked in front of strangers. So I don't want to do them roles, but you never know what's going to come. Because, you know, as an actress, you sign a 3 or 4 year contract and you don't know what they're going to write. So you deal with the issues as they come up.
Well, you know, everybody's favorite line from you. I don't know. Wait, do you know everybody's favorite line from you?
No, could you tell me?
It's the Gregory Hines scene in Waiting to Excel.
I thought it was the line from the Carmichael show, nasty, just nasty. Oh, but okay, yeah. Is he watching? He's watching, yeah.
He's watching. Yeah. Well, we will continue to be watching you, Loretta DeVine. Thank you so much for being on the Tammi Mac Late Show on Fox Soul. I really appreciate you. And we all appreciate what you do. And we will continue to watch you in awe and in laughter. Thank you. We'll be right back.
I love you, Tammi Mac. I love you.
Thank you. Love you. Welcome back to the Tammi Mac Late Show on Fox Soul. I am Tammi Mac. Hello, everybody. So, Look, if you're just joining me, you missed my interview with Miss Loretta DeVine, who just picked up an NAACP Image Award for her guest performance in P-Valley. I got a feeling P-Valley is going to win a lot of NAACP Image Awards. Joining me now is a group of comedians, and we are talking about the power of comedy in the Black community. Please welcome actor and comedian Wille Macc is here. Hey, Wille Macc. Woo! Life skills coach and comedian Tacarra Williams on deck.
Hey guys.
The Fresh Prince of Persia, Tehran Von Ghasri. Hi, Tehran.
Hello, everybody. I didn't win an NAACP award for my prostitution hooker scene, but, I'm still here.
Well, maybe next time. Can't win them all.
I try. They don't
have
like
everything.
Me.
So I want to ask you all this question. It's the question I start with each and every night on the Tammi Mac Late Show, and that's why should Black people care? Why should Black people care about comedians and comedy altogether?
Wow. Oh, wow. Anybody want to start that off?
Oh, Tacarra, you sounded offended. Like, oh, wow.
I'll tell you why. Why Black people should care about comedy. Because good comedy makes you laugh, but great comedy makes you think. And no one has made the Black community think more than comedians. Who's talked about race in the Black community more than Dave Chappelle? Who's talked more about politics than a Wanda Sykes? Who's talked more about family than a Chris Rock? Who has made us think more outside of the box than an Eddie Murphy or even a Tiffany Haddish? That is what comedy is about. It's about pushing the boundaries and making us think and come together as a Black community.
Right. Oh, there it is. Wille Macc.
Well, dang. Geez.
But it also gives us something to laugh at, because when you listen to a lot of Black comedians, we talk about our struggle and our pain and what's going on in our lives. So when a lot of people are watching us, they're like, we're going through the same stuff. Thank God it's not just me. And we're able to laugh at all these situations that are going on, whether it's family, kids. And I obviously am a big fan of Bernie Mac. And when you just heard him talk about all these struggles and just his point of view, it just made you feel like, wow, thank you for somebody saying what was in my head out loud.
It's healing. It's healing. And it's just knowing that somebody gets it, and that's what it was for me. And that's how I started doing comedy. It was just, I didn't realize that something that was so traumatic or something that was so detrimental to me, I could laugh at some point in time. And it's also bringing people out of their moments for a second just to laugh. And if there's nobody's going to get us like us. And
that's
I think
real.
That's what stand up, especially Black stand up is nobody's going to get us but us.
And Obama doesn't care no more. They don't add mental health into insurance. So this is our therapy. This is our therapy.
It is our therapy, not just for ourselves, but for those listening. This is our therapy. How many comedy shows have you done, Tehran and Willie, where people come up to you and say, I was going through something ridiculously difficult. Somebody passed or somebody was hurt and I needed a laugh.
Yeah.
And I came here and you helped me get through whatever traumatic time I was having. And that's why we do what we do. And that's why.
That's very true.
Yeah.
And that's why Black people should care. So is being a comedian like being a minister? Do you all get a calling to the cloth of comedy?
Yes, I'm a preacher's kid, and there was always this calling on my life that I've heard like evangelists say, like, we see you on a pulpit. But so I never wanted to be a pastor. I don't want to do all of that. But I think my calling, when they saw me in front of people, I think they saw me in front of on a stage talking to people. Because some of the stuff that I talk about is the stuff that's going on in Black America. I talk about my son a lot. I talk about his mom. I talk about all this other stuff that how I deal with it, because like Tehran said, it's therapy for us. Like, I don't know who else to talk to about this, because in my head, I feel crazy for having like different certain thoughts. So I'm like, who do I tell this to? So when I hear people laugh at my problems and what's going on with me, it makes me feel lighter about these situations.
So answer the question though, Wille Macc. Were you called?
Straight auntie mode, first of all.
Were you called?
Yeah.
I was called. I feel like, yes, that's
Wille Macc, didn't nobody call you?
Man, somebody called me. I felt it in my heart, Tehran. I felt it when my heart flooded. I was like, that's my calling to be on stage.
Yeah, I got a calling. I was a preschool teacher, and I went through like a really bad breakup. And you know, women, when we go through our breakups, we like, I gotta find out who I was before this relationship. And I had that moment, and I went to this acting class in New Jersey because I was living in New York at the time. And I guess the director or the producer was like, you're not gonna get this part. This was a very serious part, and you made it comical. And we never even thought to put comedy in this role, but it was so good. You didn't get the part, but it was so good. And you should do stand-up. And that night, that producer set me up with a stand-up, spot in Manhattan. And I got there at like 7:30, show started at 8. And everybody that was at the audition was there in the front row to support me. And all I did was talk about my bad breakup and what it was like versus what I thought it was going to be like, and how men break up versus how women break up. And it was such a difficult time for me when I was going through that. But to hear women go, yes, me too. And we laughed at it. We laughed at something that I cried at for a week straight. We laughed at it. And after the show, all the women came up to me and said, girl, I was going through a breakup too. And thank you so much, because I thought it was just me. And at that moment, that was it. So it
wasn't a spiritual calling. Like you didn't hear God say, Tacarra, I put my hand on thee.
No, but the people called me the next day to do another show. They called me the next day to do another show. I said, this is a calling. Let me go ahead and get this quick little $47 that they're giving me. And it's been 10 years and I am absolutely in love with stand-up.
And you are fantastic, I might add.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, my sister. I have seen you. Tehran, calling or nah?
Honestly, the only people that call me are bill collectors and my parents. Nobody calls me. I didn't get a calling. What I did, however, receive was a message. And I'll tell you what that message was. I was finishing law school and trying to figure out who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do in real life. And I had a situation happen to me that I needed to get out of. I needed to get out of the life that I was living. And I turn on the television and I see, and I watched Fuse Network, which was Canadian MTV. I don't even know why I had this channel. And on this TV show, I see a friend of ours now, Mikey Winfield, a light-skinned Black comedian with nice brown skin and a fro and a beautiful smile, telling jokes and introducing music videos. And this is when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I literally watched someone who looked like me do something I felt like I could do. And I said, if he can do this, I can do this. And that changed my life. And that's why representation is so imperative, not only in the world, but in the Black community, because at the age of 22, 23, I saw somebody that looked like me and changed my life. So how much more does that mean to a 16-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 10, 8, 5, or 4-year-old child? I was a grown man and it changed my life. That's why representation is everything. I didn't get a calling, I got a drawing.
Okay, all right now.
Wow.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Look like you came on up. You rocking that fur robe tonight.
It's soft. I'm always because I'm always at home everywhere I go. I wear a robe to remind people that social constructs aren't real, that those same boxes that we are placed on, boxes are meant for things and not people, and that everything that we consider a social construct is really a destruct.
Okay.
Where you getting all these quotes from, Tehran?
Bars, Tammy. He's spitting bars, Tammy. Bars.
Wordsmith. Yes. You're giving us Derek Jackson vibes tonight. so
me and you just cracking up at this. Okay.
So Tacarra, you are obviously, but I can't assume nowadays, you are a woman in a man's world. In a man's world.
Change yourself right there. Good.
I ain't trying to offend nobody.
I am a fool.
In a man's world. So how do you finagle this comedy thing? Because let's face it, it is kind of hard for women to make it to the Wanda Sykes status, to make it to the Tiffany Haddish status, who, mind you, wasn't even at that status just 5 years ago.
Right.
So how do you find yourself in that world?
It can be difficult because it is male dominated. But one of the things that keeps me, just in a good space with myself is just be who I am. And, don't fold under any circumstances, and, say what I want to say, when I want to say it, how I want to say it. And I think one of the most important things is to just be funny. Like that's the best advice I'd ever gotten from anyone, was just be funny, irrespective of what people say, what people think about you, how the world perceives you. Be undeniably funny at every moment that you get an opportunity to. And then they can't deny you anything.
But here's the thing, when you say be funny, it sounds okay, be funny. But come on now, it's folk out there who think they funny,
right?
Who think they being funny,
right?
They ain't funny.
Well, I think my niche was being relatable to everyone. And when I first lived in New York, I had like this certain standard of comedy because I'm coming out of New York, and New York is it's its own space. And I came to California and I did a show, and they was like, we don't get it. And I had to revamp my entire comedy set to be diverse enough to I want to get people who have children, people who don't have children, people who are divorced, people who are married. And just being great at what you do, not just for yourself, but for other people to agree that you are great at what you do. It allows you to navigate this comedy world just a little bit better, because people respect you better. Yeah. They respect you more when they know that she's just great at what she does. Because when I first started, the men they come for you when you first start. I'm sure you know.
When you say they come for you, what do you mean? Like they want to get at you?
Yeah, Tacarra, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Well, what you say?
I'm a woman.
Honest, Tacarra, I was thinking like when you say they come for you, they like, your shit ain't gonna be funny.
No.
That kind of come for you.
I mean,
but you're talking about come.
Yeah, because it's leverage, a man will invite. I've had people tell me, I want to take you on tour with me. And I'm excited. I'm like, of course I want to go on tour with you. And they're like, well, what happens on tour stays on tour. And I'm like, oh no, thank you. Because I'm aware of what happens on tour. And I'm okay with that. I don't want to go on tour with you. Or I've had people book me for shows, not expecting me to do well. So that way we can have drinks and they can console me after the show.
Wow, that's game right there. That's game.
Yeah. And I've had people actually come up to me and say, I was going to attempt to talk to you, because I thought you were going to do bad. And you did so great. I want to book you for another show. And I've had people give me a handshake and say, I respect you because you're actually funny.
It's funny.
It's a weird thing to get as a woman because men don't get that.
No.
Nobody walk up to you and say, man, I was trying to get in your drawers, but you are actually funny. Women, we have to be mindful. We have to be cautious. We have to be overly protective of ourselves because people will use this as an advantage. And, it's a male dominated industry. I've been on shows and guys will say, why is she on the show? Put me on the show. We don't need a female on the show.
You know what, Tacarra, you just hit, oh my God. I think I have a little time to tell this quick story.
Go for it.
So I have a radio show in Los Angeles, right? Mm-hmm. I'm on afternoons and I used to have a co-host and the co-host was a man, obviously. And we were afternoons in LA, prime time, right? And normally when there's a male female kind of radio show, it's the male who's the dominant and the female who's kind of like, that wasn't my situation because Stevie Wonder was like, no, we want to hear the woman's perspective too. Get in there, get it. It's your show too.
Right.
And when he left, when Donna Michi, my co-host, left, so many men called saying, I can help Tammi. So it's not like they called saying, hey, can I get a shot on the show? Or, hey, can I get an audition? Or, hey, are you looking for somebody else to partner up with Tammi? These men called saying, hey, put me in there and I can help Tammi a lot. What I need your help for?
Right.
Look like you need my help, bro.
Because that's the mindset. The mindset is we can't do it on our own or we're not good enough or we need help. And in this business, you just gotta, whatever it is that you do, be great at it, get the respect that you deserve for doing it. And that's just how I navigate it.
Yeah. So kudos to Fox Soul for not thinking I need help, and kudos to Stevie Wonder for not thinking I need help. We got this, baby.
And knowing you don't need help. That's what they knew you didn't need help.
I feel like a non-racist white person right now. I don't know how to. I'm just gonna.
Hey.
Like
We'll be right back on the Tammi Mac Late Show on Fox Soul. Welcome back to the Tammi Mac Late Show on Fox Soul. Tonight, we tackle the business of being Black. And the business of being Black tonight is the importance of the power of comedy. Wille Macc's in the house. Tehran's here. Tacarra here. You know them all. These folks is funny, y'all. I'm telling you. So speaking of the business of being Black, Wille Macc, I'm going to come to you on this one, boo-boo. How does the Black Lives Matter movement play into comedy? So, and by that, I mean, comedians have material. Mm-hmm. They have special material, but then something happens that shakes the world up. And you have to find a way to, you know, now you can't talk about this because that's happened. And it's either one or two things. Either you can't talk about this because that thing that's happened is so bad, you can't joke about it. Or you can't talk about it because that thing that's happened, you have to talk about it because it's the only thing that everybody's talking about. And for you to not acknowledge it would mean that you're totally numb to the world's ills. So how do you feel about how material has moved along during this course of the Black Lives Matter movement, the Stop Asian Hate movement, I can go on and on and on, America movement?
Well, it happened even before the Black Lives Matter movement for me, because I'm from Ferguson originally. So I've been dealing with a lot of this stuff for a while and just how I feel. And going to the Ferguson protest and then being out here in LA and then going to like some of these Hollywood protests, I had to talk about the difference between like the different cities. Like in LA, at first, you know, it was a bunch of people. Then you start seeing people just going to the protests for just like the photos, and like you saw the fake people that was like, let me hold a screwdriver and just like act like I'm helping these buildings. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking like, I have to call this out because I know I'm not the only person seeing some of this stuff that's going on. So I talk about how Black Lives Matter movement got trendy. Like I was at the one on Hollywood and Highland, and this white lady comes up to me and is like, hey, where's your sign? I'm like, I am the sign. Like I don't need to carry a sign. Like that's like asking me to sign my own birthday card. Like I know who this is for. Like, but when I was in Ferguson, like it was different because like we kept getting shot at with the rubber bullets and all this other stuff.
Oh wow!
So it was a different movement, and you see people wanting to say something about it. Like you see the memes, you see the people talking, and so I feel like because I have a platform, because I have a stage, and because a lot of the shows went to Zoom shows, I feel like it connected a lot more people because on like if I was to just tell my jokes right now, it'd be just like in LA and Los Angeles. But now because it's on Zoom, it's starting to go to like a broader audience. Like you got people logging in from New York, people from the Midwest, people from all over the world hearing what I have to say. So I feel like that's kind of how the Black Lives Matter movement and what my voice is to like, you know, to be heard and all of that during all of this stuff that's happening.
So I want to talk about, I cannot have a conversation with stand-up comedians and not talk about the newfound comedians that have entered the world. So enter stage left, social media comics. How do social media, I can't even get it out because I'm looking at Wille Macc over there laughing while he in his comedy spot. So Willie, let's stay with you on this one. How have social media comics changed the trajectory of comics and comedy?
I feel like a lot of this, so like there was a thing up at Just for Laughs where they brought up a couple of comedians who just had like a couple million followers, and they brought them up and they just did awful. Like they was just bombing up there. They didn't know how to really react to like the audience, because when I hear social media comics, I just think of the comics that are like comics that are making sketches and all this other stuff, and they're really funny because they got a following. People like, hey, come to Tennessee, come to this stage and this club.
Weekend. We're gonna give you a weekend.
We give them a weekend.
Tacarra. Yeah.
And they are up there bombing.
But to their defense, I bet the weekend sold out before they get there.
The weekend sold out, but they lost a lot of people's respect in that regard.
Thank you. Yeah.
But to be fair, it's a different skill set. Let's not compare apples to oranges. Social media comedy is not stand-up comedy, but it is still a form of comedy. Let's not take away from what they are doing. And there are extremely talented comedians who do perform on a social media stage. Tony Baker, Kev on Stage, Ryan Davis. These are comedians just hilarious, who, by the way, worked hard to get those followings. So personally, I never knock a social media comedian. I never knock anyone's hustle. There's enough lanes for all of us to succeed. That's one of the things that we need to do better, not just as comedians, but as the Black community. Realize that when we're walking and we look up at the night sky and there's only 1 or 2 stars, we don't look up again. It's when you look up at the night sky and it's full of stars. That's when you look up in awe, and that's who all of us can be.
Wait, what the hell does that even mean? Why are we?
I got that. Wille Macc, I got it.
I need to break it down for me.
Let me break it down so it can forever and consistently be broken in.
Thank you, Tammi Mac.
When you look in the sky and you only see 1 twinkle or 2 twinkles, you like, it's just the sky.
Mm-hmm.
But then if there are a multitude of stars in the sky, you lay back on the grassy knoll, and you with your mate hold hands and you look above at the beauty of the universe and what it is. And he's saying that if all of us were stars and shining bright, we matter even more.
Exactly. Thank you, Tammi Mac. Who needs a white savior when we have Black women? Yes.
Okay.
I didn't get that one, but okay.
I just said yes because it sounded right. Yeah. Go
it did.
Yeah.
Just
Black
you know,
women.
Hollywood loves to portray us if we need white women or white women of color, like Blindside. We have Black women who honestly can no longer be our target and our shield. So I just always advocate for the Black woman.
I appreciate, and the Black woman in me appreciates you.
Why, thank you.
So we'll get to this question a little bit later. I hope we have time for it. Where would you be if you weren't doing comedy today, Tehran?
I'd be successful as a lawyer. Like, I don't know what I was thinking.
Hold on, wait. Let me ask you this. Hold on, because you've been on the show before, and you talked about being in law school, but then you transitioned into this comedy thing. But you're Persian, right?
I'm half Persian, half Black. I have a master's in economics, a law degree. I graduated top of my class, and I went into comedy because it's that important to me to reach people. And if I wasn't in comedy, I would be in a courtroom somewhere doing courtroom things, helping Tacarra Williams and all my good friends. But the truth is, thankfully, my comedy journey has always been on an upward trajectory, and I'm doing well, and I enjoy this. That's the difference. But
your family could not have been happy to see you go from law school to being a comedian. In particular, like in a Black family, I don't think Black folk families, we would rather see our kids be comedians. I think that's a different culture altogether.
100%. My mom is blackity black. Let me explain that real quick. My mother she doesn't play games, and my father is a very, very aggressively Persian man. This is a very cultural, traditional Persian man. And while I've had my own unconventional upbringing, I did have that pressure. But the one thing that they always did was allow me to respond. And success is the best response you could ever give. Success is an answer on its own. And so you look at people like Willard Smith, who was born in Philadelphia, born and raised, and spent most of his days on the playground. When he went into rap, there was no way that his parents in the 80s thought that was a good idea. No way. And he came out with a song, Parents Just Don't Understand, and was the first Grammy award-winning hip hop artist of all time. That is the path he laid. And so that's what I hope to do by telling my story on stage and having people, as Tacarra and Willie both brought up, relate. Because that's what comedy is all about. It's relatability. We're all in this together.
Tacarra, where would you be?
I was probably still teaching preschool.
Did you enjoy those damn kids? I mean, them kids.
I did enjoy them, but most importantly, I wouldn't have moved. And I think this move was great, not just for stand-up, but for my mental space. Sometimes you got to get up, you got to get away from the things that you know and experience new things. So it wasn't just stand-up. It was just my experience is different. But if I wasn't doing stand-up, I would still be in the South Bronx, teaching some kids, and probably unhappy with, knowing that I should be doing more.
But probably making them laugh. Putting a smile on their faces.
I taught inmates for 5 years, and we had a good time.
Wille Macc, where would you be? Now I hate to just slide over that. I taught inmates, but they're telling me to wrap it up. But I really need to get into that. Wille Macc, where would you be?
I would probably be one of those inmates that Tacarra. That's just true. Because I grew up in St. Louis, Ferguson, and it wasn't much for us out there. I graduated with a 1.9 GPA in high school, and I've been locked up twice, and I don't like comedy saved my life.
What did you get locked up for?
Ooh, that's a whole nother story.
You better go on and tell Auntie what you got locked up for. She's not playing with you.
Robbery.
Or is the past the past? I don't need to be bringing up the past.
Now I just said it. Now I feel like it was the past.
Now nobody's inviting Willie over for Thanksgiving dinner. I'll tell you that.
I'm inviting him. He is a changed man, and he is great.
Yes, he's a changed man, absolutely. And I don't ask to be nosy though, Wille Macc. I ask because I believe that most of us have the same experiences, and we come from the same place culturally, and so. When you say I got locked up for robbery twice, trust and believe, probably half of the people listening either were headed that way or that has happened to them too. And I always like to find out where people personally, it's my personal, like I love to find out how far people have come.
Right.
I love biographies. Like I can't express how many biographies I watch because I like to watch people evolve. And it's sad. The cancel culture is sad because it does not allow for people to evolve. So I'm going to evolve into a commercial break, and we'll be right back. The Tammi Mac Late Show on Fox Soul. Welcome back to the Tammi Mac Late Show on Fox Soul. Before we get into what our comedian guests are doing, I want to ask you all, I'm put you on the spot here now, Mount Rushmore of comedy. For you individually, and whoever wants to go first can take it, but just somebody better chime in fast. We got 4 minutes.
I'm gonna go. Kevin Hart. I know a lot of people have these controversies about him, but I think he's absolutely amazing. Richard Pryor, Dave Chappelle. Last one. I'm gonna go with Monique. Last one. No, I'm gonna stay with Monique.
I was about to say, Miss Woman Power here ain't called a woman out yet.
I'm gonna go Monique. I wanted to put Wanda Sykes too. I love her.
Yeah.
But Monique, I'm gonna stick with Monique. Yes, that's my amount.
Wille Macc, let's go.
Richard Pryor, Bernie Mac. I like Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh my God, I know every line. I have the scripts to Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Season 1. And that's how much of a fan I am.
Okay.
And I tell people this all the time. Like, I think God is a great comedian because he be writing some stuff that we can never even figure out, man.
All right, you practice that.
Okay. My producers must have gave you the question first. Okay.
His father's a pastor. He had a head start. I'm gonna go with Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Shirley Hemphill. Fight me.
Shirley Hemphill.
Don't at me. I said what I said. I did what I did.
They had these questions, Tammy. Why ain't had these questions beforehand? They had these questions already. They had these answers mapped out. I'm over here. I don't really. Let me think.
For those,
bam.
Those who don't know or are unaware who Shirley Hemphill is, she was on What's Happening, the 70s show. It was a 70s show.
Exactly.
And she played Shirley.
She did.
So, okay, Tacarra, we last saw you on NBC's Bring the Funny. What you working on?
I am on several episodes of the show Chopped, the Chopped show series, the Food Network.
That's my favorite show.
Yeah, they have a 420 coming out, Chopped 420. So we are.
What is that, weed?
Yes, girl. When I tell you, I forgot I was filming. When I tell you I was eating delicacies, chicken, eel, squid, and when I tell you several times they was like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "I don't know."
Chopped weed. Oh my God, I cannot wait to see you.
So good. It's so good. So we have that. I'm also going to be featured on the show South Side on Comedy Central. They got greenlit for season 2, so that's coming out, and some other things that are happening. But just follow me on social media, all social media platforms at Tacarra Comedy, Tacarra Williams, and just keep up with me. We'll have a good time.
All right, Tehran, what you got?
I have a couple Netflix projects that are going to be coming out soon that I'm working on, so that's always fun. But
Netflix is like the Black folks' savior.
Yes,
it really is. It really is. Not even Amazon with their free Black movies that they came out during Black Lives Matter. Like, nobody watches Just Mercy. Let me live.
Please.
I watched it and it was good. Okay.
I watched it afterwards, but even Michael B. Jordan hadn't watched it until then, until it was free. So I have a couple Netflix projects that are coming out, but honestly, you can catch me online, Zoom shows, Instagram Live, Clubhouse, and killing it at the grocery line. I just do sets right there. The cashiers think I'm hilarious.
Oh, which grocery store? Maybe I'll catch you one night.
It's not Trader Joe's, I'll tell you that. I just never go to a Trader Joe.
Well, I guess you would have to go to Whole Foods or Gelson's so you can get that tip. Wille Macc.
I start filming next month my own HGTV series, Renovating the Lou. The money that I made in commercials and stand-up, I took back home to St. Louis and bought a bunch of properties. So that's coming out, HGTV.
Oh, I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. Why didn't I think to do something smart with my money? I bought Gucci bags.
Yeah, I mean.
You rehabbed homes.
Yeah, rehab homes. That's what I do now.
He did. Awesome. With his brother, which made sense.
So you took your residual, your commercial money and used it exclusively to bring your community of Ferguson back up.
Yep. I think that's amazing.
Dope. That's totally amazing. Totally amazing. Never going to the Gucci store again. It's over for me. Thank you for giving me some perspective on life. And thank you all for making us laugh. Wille Macc, Tehran, and Tacarra. We will see you. That's the Tammi Mac Late Show on Fox Soul. Until tomorrow, it's a blessing to be in your box. Bye, y'all.